Welcome to Soulverse, where your healing begins with truth. If you've ever felt confused, drained, or made to feel small in a relationship that promised love but delivered pain, this is for you. This is not just about heartbreak. This is about reclaiming your voice, your clarity, and your worth after surviving emotional manipulation and toxic cycles. You are not broken. You are never too much. In this space, we don't gaslight ourselves anymore. We don't second-guess our gut. We don't beg for breadcrumbs. We speak healing. We declare freedom. I'll say each affirmation first, and then I invite you to say it after me. Let this be a conversation between your past pain and your rising power. So take a deep breath, and let's begin. They do not control me anymore. I am free from manipulation and mind games. I am free from manipulation and mind games. Their opinion of me is not my truth. I now see clearly what I once excused. I am not crazy. I was gaslit. My intuition was always trying to protect me. I forgive myself for staying longer than I should have. I was conditioned to doubt myself, but now I trust me. I no longer shrink myself to be loved. I break the trauma bond today. I deserve respect, safety, and honesty. I am healing, even when it feels slow. Their chaos is no longer my home. I walk away from toxicity with courage. I choose peace over the familiar pain. Love should not hurt or confuse. Love should not hurt or confuse. I reclaim my voice. I am not what they made me believe I was. I do not miss them. I miss who I hoped they would be. I give up the fantasy of who I thought they were. I no longer romanticize the cycle of abuse. I see the pattern, and I choose to break it. I am more than someone's emotional supply. I stop apologizing for existing. I am allowed to take up space and be heard. I walk away with my soul intact. I am no longer ashamed of what I survived. Their cruelty is not a reflection of my worth. I reclaim every piece of me they try to shatter. I forgive myself for what I didn't know back then. I no longer need their validation to feel whole. I choose boundaries that protect my peace. I release the urge to fix people who break me. I am no longer a prisoner of their moods. I was not the problem. I was the mirror. I no longer silence my truth to keep the peace. I choose me now. I am healing, and that healing is sacred. I see through their charm and control. I will not be guilted into going back. I am not responsible for their healing. I do not explain myself to people committed to misunderstanding me. I detach from emotional manipulation. I listen to my inner voice without fear. I no longer absorb other people's dysfunction. I walk in truth, clarity, and self-respect. I do not need closure from someone who thrives on confusion. I give myself the closure I deserve. I am no longer loyal to pain. I break the cycle of emotional abuse. I am not weak for loving them. I am strong for leaving. I deserve love without fear or punishment. I choose relationships that honor my humanity. I stand in the truth of my experience. I do not question the pain, I validate it. I give myself compassion where they gave me cruelty. I no longer internalize their blame. I rise from the ashes of their destruction. I am not their scapegoat. I am my own salvation. I let go of the lies I was fed. I no longer perform for love. I do not romanticize disrespect. My story doesn't end in their abuse. I walk forward with dignity. I honor my healing journey. I build a new life rooted in truth. I trust myself again. I am free. I am whole. I am safe now. I no longer walk on eggshells to keep the peace. I do not owe loyalty to someone who betrayed me. I trust my memory and my feelings. I was not imagining it. It really happened. Their charm was a mask, not the truth. I now choose truth over fantasy. I stop explaining my pain to people who don't care. I now speak up for myself without fear. I no longer crave connection with someone who harmed me. I see love as safe, kind, and honest, not manipulative. I am no longer afraid to be alone. I would rather be alone than abused. I release the shame they placed on me. Their projection is not my identity. I detach from their chaos and control. I do not rescue people who drown me. I create relationships where love feels calm. I do not chase, beg, or plead. I was worthy even when they couldn't see it. I stopped blaming myself for how they treated me. I am not difficult. They were dishonest. I now protect my energy with fierce love. I do not confuse control with care. Their flattery was manipulation, not love. I survived what was meant to break me. I no longer absorb their shame as my own. I now celebrate the day I walked away. I choose real love, not emotional games. I release the guilt they trained me to carry. I do not water dead plants anymore. I reclaim my light, my laughter, my voice. I am not their emotional caretaker. I am no longer a hostage to false hope. I see my patterns and I break them with grace. I rise from their abuse with wisdom and fire. I refuse to tolerate what once destroyed me. I now choose safety, honesty, and respect. I am not broken. I am healing. I walk away even when it's hard. I do not normalize cruelty in the name of love. I am no longer addicted to chaos. I choose peace over potential. I do not wait for someone to change at my expense. I give myself the love I was denied. I trust the red flags I used to ignore. I no longer betray myself to be loved. I protect my heart with wisdom and care. I stop repeating cycles I didn't start. I speak truth over my silence. I see the wounds beneath their cruelty, but I am not responsible for them. I no longer let apologies keep me in harm's way. I do not heal by returning to what hurt me. I forgive myself for loving someone who could not love me back. I release the fantasy of what could have been. I do not chase ghosts. I live in truth. I am whole again. I do not miss the abuse. I miss the illusion. I no longer settle for emotional crumbs. I am not unlovable. I was just unloved by the wrong person. I no longer confuse intensity for intimacy. I take back my story with dignity. I do not need their approval to be enough. I walk away from gaslighting with my sanity intact. I speak life over myself again. I am becoming the person I was always meant to be. I no longer abandon myself for someone else's comfort. I am not theirs to break. I am my own to protect. I am not responsible for their inability to love. I no longer fight for someone who fought against me. I do not return to what I had to recover from. I walk away with my dignity. I am not who they said I was. I am free. I stop trying to fix what was never mine to fix. I release the trauma bond with compassion for myself. Their love was a weapon. I now choose peace. I trust myself again. I no longer ignore my inner knowing. I now honor the pain that woke me up. I am worthy of gentle love. I forgive myself for all I tolerated. I no longer minimize what I went through. My voice matters. My truth matters. I validate my own experience. I refuse to be gaslit again. I am not confused anymore. I let go of the lies I was fed. I no longer perform to be accepted. I reclaim my energy with calm authority. I am not too sensitive. I was deeply wounded. I now create boundaries that protect my spirit. I do not apologize for choosing myself. I am proud of my healing. I trust my pace and my process. I do not entertain manipulation in any form. I no longer seek closure from the person who broke me. I create closure through truth and compassion. I do not need their validation to move forward. I no longer give access to those who bring harm. I choose to heal, not to harden. I choose softness with boundaries. I protect my peace like sacred ground. I allow joy to enter again. I am not bitter, I am better. I survive betrayal with grace. I stop romanticizing dysfunction. I release fantasy and embrace reality. I choose people who feel like safety. I feel no guilt for outgrowing what hurt me. I am not a reflection of their cruelty. I release the version of myself who tolerated pain. I step into a new version of myself. I now allow healthy love to find me. I do not shrink to make others comfortable. I shine without apology. I celebrate the day I stopped begging. I no longer bleed for people who would not bandage me. I rebuild my identity without their influence. I trust love that is patient and kind. I no longer carry the weight of their brokenness. I honor myself by choosing peace. I am no longer a reflection of their moods. I trust the love I give, and I protect where I give it. I do not confuse suffering with loyalty. I am no longer addicted to proving my worth. I am free from emotional manipulation. I grow in power, not in fear. I no longer question what I know in my heart. I am becoming emotionally sovereign. I no longer entertain people who blur my reality. I define my worth, not them. I do not tolerate passive aggression. I cut ties with all forms of toxicity. I am the author of my new chapter. I no longer let confusion live rent-free in my mind. I replace trauma with wisdom. I release the pain, keep the lesson. I protect my softness without apology. I deserve peace and joy. I choose self-trust over self-doubt. I am no longer loyal to someone who harmed me. I forgive myself for staying too long. I am proud of how far I've come. I am no longer available for emotional games. I detach from anyone who profits from my confusion. I no longer seek love in places that destroy me. I choose to rise instead of ruminate. I am no longer the version of myself that settled. I deserve love that doesn't require me to abandon myself. I am reclaiming my time, my space, and my truth. I no longer absorb the blame for someone else's choices. I give myself permission to release toxic hope. I stop romanticizing survival. I break free from the need to be chosen by them. I will never beg for love again. I do not need chaos to feel connection. I no longer suffer in silence. I choose the love that mirrors peace, not war. I unlearn the belief that pain means love. I can love deeply without losing myself. I now honor red flags instead of ignoring them. I trust the version of me that chooses boundaries. I do not tolerate silent punishment. I am no longer addicted to emotional crumbs. I refuse to chase someone who hides their heart. I deserve consistency, not confusion. I am not here to carry their emotional immaturity. I honor myself by walking away. I create closure by honoring my reality. I no longer water relationships that leave me thirsty. I am not afraid to be alone. I'm afraid to be mistreated. I silence the voice that says, maybe it's my fault. I don't need to explain my healing to anyone. I will never lose myself in the name of love again. I welcome the peace I once prayed for. I make decisions from clarity, not trauma. I no longer give love to those who weaponize it. I now become the protector I once needed. I live in truth, not performance. I am not weak for leaving. I am wise. I honor the quiet strength that chose to walk away. I don't need their permission to be whole. I deserve peace that doesn't make me question myself. I no longer chase their approval. I am no longer emotionally available to toxicity. I no longer let guilt hold my hand. I replace guilt with grace. I did the best I could with what I knew. I honor the version of me that tried. But I no longer try to prove my worth to the unworthy. I forgive myself for not knowing sooner. I trust myself not to repeat that cycle. I don't fear losing people who don't value me. I choose truth even when it hurts. I do not betray myself to keep the peace. I am safe in my own company. I will not shrink to fit into someone else's comfort zone. My healing is more important than their opinion. I grow from the wreckage. I do not rebuild with the same fire that burned me. I give myself permission to heal at my own pace. I deserve honesty, not mixed signals. I rise above their projections. I do not confuse trauma with destiny. I rewrite the story with my voice. I stand in power, not performance. I am no longer the wounded version of me. I step into the whole version of me. I am love, I am light, and I am enough. You did it. You showed up. You spoke life into places that once held silence. And that's not small. That's sacred. Remember this: healing from a toxic relationship isn't just about moving on. It's about moving into the truth of who you've always been. You are not what they did to you. You are what you choose to become after. Come back to these words whenever you feel doubt creeping in, because your freedom is not a one-time event. It's a daily decision. Here at Soul Verse, we walk that path with you. Until next time, protect your peace, honor your heart, and never apologize for healing.